Welcome to the Arclight Battery, your power source for all things Warcraft Rumble related. In today's video, I'm going to be making a tier list for all of the leaders in the new PvP map, Arathi Basin. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. At the time of this recording, we're almost to 4,000 subscribers, which seems like such a long shot and far off number from where we started, which was at like 100. It's just really cool to see, and I appreciate you being here. So, let's go ahead and get into the video. We are going to define these tier lists real quick. We have S, A, B, C, and D. S is something that, if I put it here, I think it needs a nerf, but this is specifically for this map, so remember that. A is very good. It's probably top leaders. B is maybe slightly below the top leaders, but still pretty solid. C is kind of off meta, but not the worst thing in the world. And D is going to be totally unplayable, and it's just not something you want to be doing right now. Let's start with everyone's favorite, Baron Rivendare. I think he belongs in A tier. So, before, on the last map, he was definitely S tier. I thought he needed a nerf. This map seems a little different. There are a lot of really good leaders and comps right now, though most of them involve spells, or at least using spells to support something. But his mages don't seem too egregious, and maybe that's also because of Fortified Week, where it's really hard for you to take the other tower, to start spawning more skeletons. However, if you do manage to take the other tower, it is very good for you. There is a Baron build running around right now that runs Execute to kind of surprise the opponent and take their side tower, which helps you spawn more skeletons. That's a pretty dangerous Baron deck to play. Currently, I'm running it just kind of normal baseline with skeleton mages, tanks like Quillbore, Safe Pilot, for Dragon Towers, claiming the middle gold. We've got Dark Iron Miner and Blizzard. Just a all-around, like, kind of normal Baron Rivendare package with Blizzard to support. He's very solid, one of the top heroes right now, but I don't think he needs a nerf on this map specifically. Next, we have Blood Mage Thalnos. I'm going to say, you know, I think he's C tier. I think the buff helped him, and there are some pretty wild builds with sappers and 4 different spells running around, but I just don't think it does enough. He's easily polymorphed. Deep Breath takes him out, and this is, I'm going to try and be fair, but this is a PvP list for the actual meta at the top of the game, so you're going to run into a lot of Deep Breath there. Outside of that, he's probably B tier, but we're ranking for the top, so I think he's just fine. There's a lot you can do to counter him. Like I said, polymorph, distract him with a Quillbore, safe pilot it, blizzard it before he starts getting large. So, you know, there's lots of ways to stop him. The buff did help, but not enough. He'll probably be good in PvE, though. Next, we have Cairne, and this might surprise you because I'm pretty sure I ranked him in B or C last time. I think he's definitely an A tier hero. I'm kind of sad that I don't have mine leveled up very much, because with all of the narrow lanes in this map, he is extremely good. Being able to have that big frontal cleave that stuns, well, it's not even a cleave, it's like a shockwave, so it goes out in an AoE. It's just fantastic. All of the lanes are like that, all of them are narrow, so basically he's hitting any ground unit he comes into contact with. He does stun towers when he hits them, so it's just very solid. It also gives your troll headhunter the ability to not die to Safe Pilot from his passive. Really good with the health regen talent on the Troll Headhunter as well. So just something to be looking out for there. Giving him the planes running talent to make him super fast is awesome. He gets to where he's going quickly. He gives your opponent less time to generate gold. All around, solid unit. Great pick. Definitely in one of the top spots, honestly. He's so good. Next we have Charlga. I think she's C tier. Last season, I ranked her as D tier on the last map. There are some wild Charlga builds running around that are doing well, but they're mostly 1 gold cost cycle decks to find your Deep Breath and kill your opponent quickly. I think it's kind of a gimmick. I think it's okay. I don't think she's great. I think she's probably C tier, unfortunately. Next, we have Drakkisath. I'm going to put him in B tier. No, that doesn't seem right. He's probably bottom of A tier. So he's kind of the same as he was last map. Death Ball. and protect him with Polynova or Blizzard and Shaman and some other cool support units. Some people are running Ogre Mage. I think that's probably not great, but you know, you can do it. There is some things that counter him, but a lot of people are having good success with him. I'm tempted to put him in B tier just because, once again, there are a lot of things that counter him. Polymorph, distracting with Quillbore, Harvest Golem, Blizzard at your base is all about knowing when to counter him. A lot of people will see this guy on the map and try and counter him when he's first played, and you're never going to kill it that way. There's just too much support between the Shaman and the Resistance, and the armor and the healing from the Shaman, that you need to wait until it gets into melee range of a tower and then distract it before it actually starts hitting your tower. So, like I said, with Quillbore or Polymorph or Blizzard, something of that nature will help you kill it. You gotta make sure you do it in front of the tower, though. And if you know how to play against him, he's not that scary. So that's why he's probably bottom of A tier, and I'm tempted to put him at the top of B tier. Grom. I think he's going to go top of C tier. Well, he was going to go top of C tier. Let's drag him back up here. There we go. Okay, so Grom is top of C tier. I don't think he's amazing. I have found some Groms in this meta that do pretty well, but they're kind of like surprise decks, it feels like. Once you know what they're doing, they just kind of fall over. It's kind of the same thing as Drakkisath. Just let them get to your tower and then tank them, and the tower will kill them. The problem with him is that these lanes are so narrow, and you want to clump things together here because of his Bloodlust passive. So once you get things together, you can Blizzard, you can Safe Pilot, you can do all sorts of stuff to gain gold advantages that way, and it's really bad for your opponent if you manage to do that well. I don't think he's very good. I think he's, like I said, C tier, and it is what it is. Next we have Hogger. I think he's probably B tier. I think he is just okay right now. Flame Towers hurt him as well as narrow lanes, though once he is fully stacked, he does move across the map pretty quick, so that's why I'm going to put him at top of B tier. He does offer a lot of pressure, and he gets there quickly, so it gives your opponent less time to generate gold, especially on a small map like this. Blizzard is really bad for him, though. It's ran in a lot of decks, but, you know, he is still very good. Next, we have Jaina. She is... I'm going to put her at the top of A tier. I think she's better than Baron right now. There are a lot of good control spell builds with her. Using Harvest Golem to clog up lanes, then using Blizzard or, I know, Deep Breath to clear things is very solid. If you don't have Deep Breath, once again, Blizzard is great, and then you can use Execute to damage the opponent's base. You have support from Quillbore and Safe Pilot. You have Dark Iron Miner if you need it. There's just a lot of good stuff going on for Jaina. Next, we have Maieve. I think she's probably between Baron and Cairne. She is very solid. She's definitely... this, like, putting her between these two is just kind of splitting hairs. She's in these top 3 heroes, if I had to guess. She's very solid. I personally don't play her very much. I just don't enjoy her playstyle, but I recognize she's amazing. A lot of the top-end players have her in their top 3. She's just fantastic in this map, but she's also a hero that I feel like is very good if you know how to play her. So, like, if you are good at playing her, you're going to get great rewards from her. If you're just mediocre at playing her, you're probably going to fail a lot. So, take that how you will. It's kind of the same team comps, though. It's Quillbore, Safe Pilot, Dark Iron Miner. Flex spots are like Griffin Rider, Whelp Eggs, a Blizzard, like a spell, maybe. So, you know, it's kind of the same overall deck that she's always been. You just have to know how to play her on a small map. Next, we have Old Murkeye. I'm going to put him in A tier, just below Maieve. He is very solid. It doesn't seem like he would be because the map is so narrow. And there are a lot of good control decks against him. But as long as you know how to play him, then you will be okay. Playing him at your side tower means that they can't Blizzard him at the main base as well as the Murlocs that spawn. It also means that if they Deep Breath him, it's hard to reach that base and the other Murlocs that are spawning as well. And he's just very good at applying constant pressure on the map. The Murlocs get to where they're going pretty quickly, and he's very fantastic as long as you know how to play him. I play him like a control Murk-Eye build. I actually have a video on him already on my channel, so if you want to learn how to play him in this map, go ahead and check that out. It's basically running Blizzard as well as a bunch of cycle units. We have Defias Bandits to stun things in front of our base, our dragon towers, and kill them. Great 1 gold cycle unit. We have Harvest Golem, same thing, clog up the lanes, and just make sure our Murlocs have good support. So, go ahead and check that video out if you haven't already and you want to learn how to play him. Next, we have Rend. I'm going to put this guy in B tier. He's maybe above Hogger, maybe below. Probably above, honestly. He's just okay. He is solid. The thing that makes him a little worse is just the narrow lanes. Once again, not being great once he hops off of his mount because of that. Being caught in the blizzard, safe pilot is pretty good. Griffin Rider is good here, so if you have the Griffin Rider on even level with a Rend, it will knock it off its mount as it dies. So it's just like, he's not great. And the next we're moving on to Sneed. This guy is rough. I'm going to say he's unplayable currently. He is too slow for this map. There are no treasure chests. He is awful. Dragon towers are horrible for him. He's my boy. I love Sneed. I can't wait to play him again on other maps. Right now, don't play him. He's just the worst, unfortunately. Moving on, we have Sylvanas, and surprisingly, we're going to put her in B tier. She is actually pretty good this map, but you have to have the Dark Arrow talent. It makes her attacks align AoE, hit super hard because the lanes are so narrow. It's kind of like Cairne where she hits everything. The Banshee is still not my favorite hero ability, but, you know, she herself is good if there is a very clogged lane. So, I think she's B tier. There are some people having good success with her this PvP map, so I would give her a try if you can. Play her with things that clog up the lane, like Harvest Golem, Quillbore, things like that. Things you can do to group a bunch of enemies together. Last but not least, we have Tirion, who I think is A tier. I'm going to put him above Cairne, or maybe between Cairne and Drakkisath. Great leader. I play him in my top 4. I have a PvP video that uploaded this morning, or I guess by the time you're watching this, yesterday morning. So, I love him. Once again, he's kind of like... The problem is, there are a lot of good leaders right now, but they're all the same deck, which is unfortunate. Like, I run Blizzard and Deep Breath with this guy, then cycle units to find the Deep Breath that also help defend the base. We don't run Harvest Golem with him because Tirion with Divine Shield already does that job, where he tanks things in front of our tower and then becomes immune, so it's kind of like a Harvest Golem. So you really don't need both. But yeah, just cycle, find your Blizzards, your Deep Breaths. If you're not running Deep Breath, which you don't necessarily have, run Huntress in its place. I think Huntress is pretty solid. Good AoE clear, resistant against Dragon Towers, can push it to the base and get good damage on your enemy's tower, and I think it's overall solid. But now that we're done with this tier list, I just want to talk about PvP in general for just a couple seconds. Looking at this, you would think this is a pretty healthy meta. We have 7 heroes in the top, which I think are all pretty accurate. These guys are all relatively close, with Rend, Hogger, and Sylvanas being above Charlga, Grommash, and Thalnos, and then Sneed pulling up the rear. Looks like a pretty healthy meta. You can play a lot of things. But the issue is the meta is all the same, kind of, regardless of what leader you're playing. All the same units are still good. It's still Safe Pilot. It's still Quillbore. A lot of the time it's Dark Iron Miner. You have Blizzards. You have Defias Bandits to help you cycle back. It's kind of the same meta for everybody. So that's the unfortunate part. But the good news is you can play a lot of different leaders. So now that you know my tier list, let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments. Tell me if I ranked any of them wrong. I'd be happy to hear your opinions. If you have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to get back to you. And if you enjoyed the content or any previous comment, or rather content, and you just haven't taken the time to subscribe yet, please consider doing so. It really helps a small channel like mine grow. And we're almost to that 4,000 subscriber mark. It's going to be super awesome when we get there. I'm so excited. So, thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, bye.